I was scared of starting something new in the middle of an economic recession. I mean, who does that?
People thought I was at home baking or doing laundry or walking around in my bedroom shoes, but I wasn't. I was working 15 hours a day, just happened to be at my house.
Yeah, we had a $2 million note, zero revenue, a lot of equipment sitting around doing nothing.
And everything is yes, and yes we can, and yes we want to, and then you go, oh crap, now what?
So we provide, at our core, GPS tracking services. We work in niche markets like the marine industry.
Government contracting. We have our services and technical division, our medical division, and construction.
We help our customers migrate into the cloud.
One of the leading manufacturers of premium low-speed vehicles.
We're a tortilla manufacturing facility. We do corn and flour tortillas and tortilla chips. We're mostly in the food service industry. We sell to major broadline distributors, and we also do private label. So we private label for a lot of retailers.
Expert Shutter Services manufactures and installs hurricane and security shutters. So we offer our customers security both from hurricanes and intruders.
A helicopter operations company.
We restore the capacity of wet infrastructure. What we do that others cannot is we can clean it when it's wet.
If you're barbecuing low and slow, you have a problem of maintaining the temperature in the grill, and our product does that for you.
Full service design construction company.
We're an award-winning craft brewery with one of the premier beer gardens in the world. Really what we are is just a bunch of beer heads and gearheads that like building amazing beers.
Digital Boardwalk's a managed IT services provider.
We have our robotics division that does robotic work cells. We do custom automation assembly machines that put things together, hydraulic valves, medical devices, consumer products. And then we have a packaging division.
The high-quality medical device manufacturer and developer.
We manufacture rapidly deployable structures that can be taken apart and rebuilt multiple times.
Artemis Plastics is the contract manufacturer, so we do currently approximately 60% of our business is industrial products, and we do about 40% medical devices.
It's almost like Lego, where we can put different modules on the back and on top of the vehicle. Every one of our cars is built to the exact needs of the client.
So they realize if I'm migrating into the cloud and I'm putting security controls around it, that my data is more protected in the cloud rather than keeping it in my data center.
We've added 2 new high-tech saws. These saws allow us to globally optimize our orders, and we've increased the efficiency of the saws from 92% up to 98% yield out of our materials.
And so we go in and we're able to clean out the bottom of the tank and restore that capacity that allows the water to sit there long enough to be cleaned properly.
We call ourselves IKEA meets construction. We're like a 21st century MASH unit.
Automation really used to be the domain of the large corporations. Many times you can't afford not to buy it. A reduction in labor, an increase in productivity, a decrease in scrap rate, all those things add towards a return on investment on the piece of machinery.
That we deal with nowadays in regards to cybersecurity, those were once targeted just at large business enterprise, government. It doesn't discriminate anymore.
The product itself is stronger than the traditional products, and yet it's still in a much smaller housing. It's quieter to operate, and again, we have zero callback on the product.
You put great beers into great people's hands and give them a place to be comfortable.
We built this success on innovative technology, a product that's easy to use, and the best customer service.
We preach old-fashioned customer service. You pick up the phone, you talk to the customer, you tell them you're sorry that they're having a problem, and then we try to fix it. The customer said, he couldn't fix my problem, but he's better than Google.
I think that's why the customer is very happy, is because our employees are happy.
One of our technologies is a linear magnetic motion technology. It utilizes rare earth magnets and coils embedded into a track. Allows us to move pucks very accurately and very fast around the assembly cell.
Regulatory standard for all compliances out there now, whether it be HIPAA in healthcare, PCI DSS, or any of the others. NIST is now the standard. Digital Boardwalk, by the end of 2018, will be one of very few IT companies in the world that hold that standard.
The very first year we got into revenue is probably 5% of what we're making now.
We've been growing pretty well at about 35 to 40% annual revenue growth.
This month we're 48% above last year's October. So
from 2015 to 2018, we have about 190% growth. So we're just under doubling our revenue.
Yeah, so over the past year, we've doubled staff. Projections for the next 3 years will double, absolutely double again, if not quadruple.
The workforce is great. We're up to 27 full-time employees.
And we're already busting at the seams, and we only moved in here a few months ago.
right now we have about 160 employees. They're all full-time. Like I said, they're from 17 different countries.
We're at right at 20 people now. In 3 years, I look to be around 40.
6 years, our revenue has more than doubled.
In 2017, our revenue was $2.7 million, and for 2018, we're projecting to be at about $9 million.
We're optimistic of our future.
We used to depend on the military to provide us a core part of our workforce. The military outsourced the majority of those positions. So the military no longer trains the mechanics in-house the way they used to, because with the contractors, they tend to be parts changers. And so what we've seen is that we have this core group of very experienced individuals inside of our company that's also part of an aging population.
One of the things that has happened to us is we've become better known. And by doing that, we've put ourselves on the radar for our competition.
And at first our story was based on we're green, we're holistic, we reduce your carbon footprint. Turns out the military really didn't care. Our solution didn't change. What changed was how we told our story. So the military cared about reduction of logistics. And how do we solve logistical issues? By delivering units that are so well insulated and use so little energy that it actually needs a lot less fuel to run the generators and needs much smaller generators. It actually uses solar, which means now the camps can run silently at night.
Our core IPA, we got hit with the cease and desist, and at the time it seemed like the end of the world. So we took our IPA and kind of just poked fun at it and owned it, and now it's called Intellectual Property Ale, or IPA for the acronym, and we have a federal trademark on it. That beer, through that though, we actually sell more of it. Our customer base loves the fact that we made the can look like a cease and desist letter.
I agreed to go to the state penitentiary and speak to a group of about 100 prisoners that were due to come out of prison a few months later. And I often start by telling the prisoners, it's an intimidating process to come through security to stand here in front of you. And I'm sure in a few months from now, when you step out and you have to go through my door and stand in front of my desk asking for a job, it's going to be just as intimidating. And I'm here to tell you, we're not much different. Within our company, we've had formerly incarcerated workers that now represent us in Asia, and they travel the world. They've been to Korea, South America, all over. And they often will call in saying, I can't believe 6 years ago I was behind bars, and look at me now. And I go, you've earned it.
To think where we started only 4 years ago, it's very humbling to be here and be a recipient of this award.
We're really happy about it.
For them to know that the company that they work for is an award-winning company, that they're being recognized for such a prestigious award, means a great deal to them.
It means that people are watching.
When I got the application, let's call it, I filled it up. I was like, let's do it. I honestly never crossed my mind for a second that there was even the slightest chance that we can win.
It will bring some visibility to the company.
At the same time, it's just such an honor to get someone to put their arms around your shoulders and go, well done, well played.
They're really proud to work for a company that's a rising star.
You always want people who took a chance on you to feel like they made a good choice.
I always want to thank my wife Miriam, my kids who deal with the fair amount of travel that I do.
Everybody that has been with Easy Food since day one,
I'd like to thank all of them.
Absolutely want to thank my father, thank my parents.
We don't have anyone above us patting us on the back when we do something good. But you know what we do have? We have GrowFL.
I'd like to thank GrowFL because this is really an amazing honor.
Our investors and financial partners and and just business partners along the way.
My wife and my colleagues.
It takes a village.
Would love to thank my parents and my family.
Florida and the county have been great. I wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for my wife. She's not an entrepreneur. She went out on a limb for me, and she was the sole income for a long time. So it was hard, but we did it.
One of the projects that we're working on is at Tyndall Air Force Base, which was just demolished, pretty much the whole base, with Hurricane Michael just a few weeks ago. So that's drastically changed our landscape. It's affected our client, it's affected our project. A project that we were 95% complete with is no longer there. Now you have people that you have to place on other projects. You don't want to lose the people.
I mean, we had one customer, a healthcare provider, that just moved into a brand new building completely flooded. Completely flooded. We were on the phone with them through the whole process. We helped them reestablish their business under temporary quarters.
We delivered one of our units. It's currently in Panama City. It's being used by the first responders, and they've asked us to keep it there for a little bit longer. When Houston got hit by the hurricane, we did the same thing. So
helping the Caribbean to rebuild, and the products that we manufacture are critical for that construction to brace for the next hurricane, as well as the storms that have just hit the Carolinas and the Panhandle. They're going to be rebuilding, and we're going to be providing the products that they're going to need to get ready for the next storm.
Be really confident that you have advantages in your product or service. Know what they are and be able to communicate them.
Put your head in the sand, don't.
You'll always have excuses why it's not the right time.
Because it's a lot of hard work, but the rewards are well worth it.
Because what will happen 2 years later if you don't do it, you're 2 years older.
Never give up. And I think most entrepreneurs at heart, they don't.
More importantly than making mistakes is learning from the mistake and figuring out what to do next, and pivoting and moving. Because once you stop moving, you're done.
You know, one of the things that I've learned along the way, and it's one of the hardest things for an entrepreneur, is to ask for help.
Don't be afraid.
And when people always say, you know, close, ask for the sale, ask for the help. It's okay. And especially in this community, people will help.
And we've been doing this now 30 years, and I love what I do. I'm excited to come to work every morning.
They're always striving to make the world a better place, create jobs, do things that I feel is inside of them.
None of this is for me. Yes, you know, my name's out there and all on it, but it's more about making sure that everybody else is feeling comfortable, doing what they enjoy doing, and being a part of a team.
The most important thing about being in this position is working hard to be lucky, right? You have to work hard or the luck never comes.